Hello, everybody. Welcome to Popcast on the Rocks, episode 193, where a podcast talks about pop culture things that interest us, and sometimes there's whiskey. My name is John, and I'm joined as always by Andrea. How's it going?
Good, good. How are you doing this week?
Pretty good. I keep trying to think of what day it is. It's Tuesday. Um, feels later in the week somehow, but
Yes.
yeah, things are good. We're out of the field, finally getting back into the rhythm of the gym and like taking care of the kids and stuff, and just trying to button down some extra stuff before winter fully
Mm.
hits. So, yeah. How about you?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. I feel, you know, this odd sense of it's later, not maybe perhaps in the week than it is, but it's later in the year than it is. Um,
Mm,
so we are approaching Thanksgiving and Chris always goes away hunting. And I keep just sort of being like, he's leaving. I have to be ready. And then being like, no, no, it's not. I'm not quite there. It's creeping up on me faster than I'd like. But I felt like the whole weekend I kept, sort of. It's like when you get startled out of a
yeah.
dream and you think like, oh my gosh, where am I? I
Hmm.
would just sort of think like, oh my gosh, he's leaving. What do I need to do? And then no, it's later,
Okay.
or
Yeah.
it's
Well,
about to be Thanksgiving. What do I need to do?
there's no doubt that you'll be prepared then. Be all set.
True, true, exactly. But yeah, I wish my body would just like calm down a little bit,
Yep.
Um, because
Yeah.
yeah, it's
It's
not that
it's
quite
easy
that
to look
emergent.
forward. What's that?
It's not quite that emergent, you know what I mean? It's not like a
Yeah.
present, like, existential threat I need to look out for every day.
Yeah. But it casts a shadow over the now then. I have that with
Indeed,
things
yes.
you're whether looking forward to something in anticipation or with, a bit of you know, bit of dread or whatever it is, it's anxiety in some fashion or another. It,
Yes,
gotta live in the moment. 'Cause,
yes. Good advice.
yeah,
Good
well,
good parental advice, John.
easier said than done. Um, okay, well, if you're looking for parental advice, probably don't want to look towards our character we'll be discussing tonight of James Bond. He
True.
might not have it to offer. I don't know, but maybe worldly advice. I don't know. But this is Pierce Brosnan's first outing in Goldeneye that we're going to be talking about,
Mhm.
and it's because it's an anniversary. 95, I believe, was this movie. So,
Yes.
30 years later.
Oh, stop it, John. Stop it.
So we've missed a couple uh Bond movie anniversaries, I think, here, just getting behind
Mhm.
on things, but Goldeneye, it's a big one for me and
Same.
needs to be discussed. So we'll have to get into that. Before we do, we will talk a little bit about what else we've been watching or reading or consuming in some fashion and our drink holidays. We gotta talk about drink holidays, Andrea. What should we be
Yeah,
drinking?
yeah. Yeah, so we decided to kind of transition over into giving a preview of what's upcoming. And because there's not a lot, I figured I would just kind of like ease it in and out of November by recapping the ones that have passed because there's three, and the ones that are coming up because there's three. So
Nice.
look at how nice and symmetrical that is. And
Yeah.
also, they're all either very similar or just like very random. So
Okay.
think about that how you will, because yeah, starting off, there are, I believe, 4 wine holidays in our holiday list of November. The 7th was International Merlot Day, and then following that immediately is a cocktail I love to say, and sadly never got the chance to actually make, even though I practiced it in bartending school. The 8th of November was Harvey Wallbanger Day. Not a lot of
Nice.
call for that. Um, it's kind of an
No.
an unusual one. But yeah, fun to say, not a lot of people willing to drink it though. But then shifting back into the 13th, it was Tempranillo Day. Then if we are leaving the past behind us and indeed looking forward, on the 19th, just one short day away, it will be Zinfandel Day. Following that on the 20th, Beaujolais Nouveau Day or Beaujolais Nouveau. Gosh, I always trip over that. You think I would prepare for it
Beaujolais
every
sounds
year.
good.
I think, but
No,
Beaujolais
not good.
Nouveau. All right, let's go with it. And then a very random holiday indeed, the day before Thanksgiving, the 26th, will be Drinks Giving, which I believe is
Okay,
a newer kind of drinking holiday, which is where, it's kind of geared towards the year you've gone away to school and now you're coming back to your hometown for Thanksgiving and you get together with all your hometown friends the night before and go out drinking. So
okay,
instead of friends
okay.
giving, drinks giving
The
or
night
friends
before
drinks giving.
Thanksgiving?
Yes, the night before Thanksgiving.
Hmm, if that's a good idea or not. I
I
mean,
mean, yeah. It
it
sounds like
depends, like, are you hosting or then
Uh,
or
I would assume this would say you're not hosting,
okay,
you are just a kid and your parents are still in charge of, you're a relative kid anyway, and your parents are in charge, your grandparents are in charge of hosting Thanksgiving and you just got to show up.
okay, okay.
And you can show up hungover
Show up and just
apparently.
you're right, just sorta make it through, yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
depending on your type of family, some are
Yeah.
the types of families who go out and do turkey trots 6, 7 o'clock AM, and some are the families like my families where we get together later in the day and we just sit and watch football and eat. I think you can handle that hungover.
Is there something wrong with me that there's some sense that where I long I long for the family dynamic at, like, a party at parties to be, like, a few more people, and there's always the stereotype of the crazy uncle and, like, the
Mhm,
crazy discussions that get brought up, the inappropriate
mhm.
talk and whatever. I don't really
Yes,
have any of that, like, the our get-togethers have gotten so small,
sure.
just basically the most immediate
Yeah.
family. Everybody in the family just sort of does their own separate things, and then we get together and it's just like, well, these are the people we see all the time anyways. We're just, like, partaking in high caloric diets for the day, you know?
Yes, today is special because we will eat more than we usually do when we see
Yeah,
each other.
exactly.
But
So it's
yes,
like a
other than that,
little
something different.
zest, you know?
Yeah.
Um, even yeah, so I don't know. Even back in the day when there was a few more parts of the family together, it wouldn't be like, you know, embarrassing shenanigans or something. It just would be a little more something interesting to listen to, some other
Mhm.
conversations, you know, than just again, the people we always talk to. So,
Yeah.
Thanksgiving about being grateful and everything and giving thanks. And so I absolutely do. It's just like the holidays and the whole thing. I just, it's as expected. So,
Yeah, I understand that our holidays have also, gotten a bit, I think, predictable. There's a rhythm to it that I used to kind of find comforting and now I'm a little like, let's maybe shake it up, do a little
yeah.
something different.
Hmm.
Um so I feel that I do kind of miss and boy boy am I going to kick myself for saying this, but I do kind of miss the days pre-children where it was really hectic for Chris and I, and we would crisscross, state lines
Mm.
to go to everybody's Thanksgivings. We would go way out to Hector, of course, um, for his parents, and then we would cross all the way across Minnesota into Wisconsin to go to my family.
Right.
And at the time, the drive was just like so long. You would just be,
Hmm.
like grating your nails, just trying to get out of the car. But I mean, there was an adventure to it the first couple of years. We'd always stop at the same gas station, get a Red Bull and like some random snack
Yeah.
that we would pick for each other. And it was kind of interesting and fun and spontaneous that way. And then it got old. And now I feel like our kind of very, I don't know, in place Thanksgivings are getting the same way. They're getting a little predictable
Yeah.
and routine. So,
There's something that about the like, you know, potentially obnoxious nature of it that makes it memorable. There's something of like,
Mhm.
again, if you have to deal with this
Yeah.
one person again every year and you don't look for, again, this is the worst kind of person. I'm the worst kind of person right now because it's just like these are not the things to complain about. And I don't it's not really a big deal. It's just I'm just
Yeah.
saying there's a piece of me that has that. And I know logically I should be happy, because as
Sure.
soon as it'd be the other way, you'd be the person that's like dreading going and trying to get out of family events because of
Sure.
whatever. I don't want to be that. So,
Yeah, yeah, I think we're both kind of touching on the grass is greener on the other side kind
yeah.
of aspect to our holidays.
Yeah.
Um, which boy, aren't we learning the lesson of Thanksgiving to be thankful for what we have.
Yeah.
We're just
Hmm.
getting to it in a roundabout way, but I also think there's something too about the commercialization of Thanksgiving and Christmas and the Hollywoodization maybe or the Hallmarkization, I don't know, some sort
Hmm.
of zation, where this is like a typical family scene, chaotic and
Hmm.
crazy, and somebody's
Sure.
dealing with, like you said, a crazy uncle or a crazy aunt who's super nosy, too much
Yeah.
in your business, and like the kids are running around, and like grandma's over here setting a turkey on fire by accident, and you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
It sounds like this sort of like bustling, but ultimately characters come together and love their weird family. And there's this sort of like
Right.
the uplifting music and glow that turns on the scene, and everybody's like, "Oh, we're nuts, but we're happy." So, yeah. I mean, right? Like our
I
family is
tell myself
crazy,
that
but
all
don't
the
we love each
time. I'm
other?
nuts, but I'm nuts, but I'm happy.
So yeah,
Okay.
I think there is something to like that kind of big family gathering that feels like this is what the holidays should be because that's what we're shown a lot.
Yep. Yep. Well, anyone out there, if you have special holiday plans or you have a
Or
crazy
Drinksgiving plans.
family story, yeah, Drinksgiving plans, send them in. Let us know if we can read them or whatever. Share them in the comment section, that type of thing. Um, yeah. And then, speaking of with the drinks yet, before we move on, I was just
Mhm.
looking up the Harvey Wallbanger and twist on a screwdriver, popular in the 70s. Vodka,
Yes,
orange
yes.
juice, and sweet herbal Galliano liqueur.
Yes, yes. It's something I
So,
had to learn, like I said, how to make when I attended bartending school. And yeah, not a call for it.
as a millennial, sometime when I go out for inevitably for brunch, I'll have to order a Harvey
There you
Wallbanger.
go. There you go. I
Mhm.
mean, I did work of a lunchtime and an evening in a sushi restaurant, so, not exactly a
Yeah,
natural pairing,
there you
but
go.
still.
Yep. Well, when it comes to pairing, what are you pairing this evening with? Are you celebrating any of these holidays or?
I am indeed. Technically, I could be celebrating double holidays, but I'm just, celebrating International Merlot Day. Just keeping it
Oh, okay.
classic.
Nice. Very nice.
But it
Well,
also feels like it could be a Drinksgiving thing or a Thanksgiving thing, because who doesn't have wine
right.
on Thanksgiving with your turkey? Who doesn't wanna
Me,
just
because
fall asleep
already
immediately?
exactly. Yeah. That's if you
Who needs
recall
melatonin?
the last week that we had a show, we were talking about something specific, a new holiday that popped up on
Oh,
the
did you get
list.
it? Did you get orange wine? You did it! Dang
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
Toad
So,
Hollow.
hmm so
Okay.
apparently, uh, I didn't look this up to confirm, but the guy at the liquor store said that this uh, company was started by Robin Williams, and
Oh,
he thought
cool.
that Toad was like a nickname or something he called like a brother or something because he had trouble
Okay.
pronouncing how his name actually was when he was a kid or something to that effect. Again, I didn't look this up to verify any of it, but I thought that was a fun story nonetheless, and an
That is
interesting
cool.
tidbit that this was Robin Williams's startup thing. So, yeah, it's Toad Hollow Vineyards, the Orange Toad. I was in there looking for orange wine, and I kind of saw this. And it's like, well, it says orange, orange wine. Like the Orange Toad. Is it really orange wine? And I asked the people, and they didn't know what I was talking about with orange wine. But reading the back here, because I had looked up orange wine previously, could confirm this is indeed what we're talking about. It says, take a sip of this delicious orange hued wine, which has the elegant fragrance of a white wine, in this instance, the unmistakable scent of peach and the mouthfeel of light red wine. Its
Mm,
refreshing taste and slight orange
mm,
color is obtained by fermenting white grapes on their skins. So that's the
mm.
deal. Orange
Got it.
wine, they have the skins on yet. And that's exactly the thing. It's supposed to taste more like white wine, but have the mouthfeel of red. So
Ooh, okay.
yeah, this is the only one that I saw there, and it's like, well, it looks cool. It's got my hands are nice and lotioned up, so let's see if I can open it. It's
Ooh, that was some
the
yeah, get it up to the mic there. Get some
yeah.
ASMR in there.
I should have let it.
Okay. So while oh yeah, you pour. Oh, only lightly, unfortunately.
Okay.
There it goes. Oh, there's a good ting.
Any of that pick up?
Beautiful. Yes, actually.
I'll have to start making my glass sing too.
Yes, there you
It's-
go. Okay, so I looked
so,
it up because I was curious, and you
mhm.
are, or the liquor store owner is indeed correct.
Okay.
Um, so there is a he is the co-founder of Toad Hollow Vineyard, Todd Williams, who Robin Williams called Toad as a joke
Okay.
because his name is
Okay.
Todd.
Okay.
Um,
Nice.
and I find this hilarious to be talking about brothers today because I was listening to a podcast earlier, and the host was interviewing Dr. Terry DeBro, Heather
Oh,
DeBro's wife or
yep.
husband, excuse me. Um, and he shared this little tidbit that his older brother is the lead singer of Quiet Riot, and I had no idea. Do you
Okay.
know Quiet Riot?
Only a name. I don't know. I wouldn't know a
So
song
they're
probably.
you would you've heard it
Okay.
before, but their claim to fame, their kind of one hit wonder, is "Come On Feel the Noise,"
Oh, okay. Yeah.
right? You
Yeah.
definitely know that
Mhm.
song. Yeah,
Right.
that's Terry DeBro's older brother singing that song.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know he had a
No
brother
clue.
either.
It blew my mind a little bit. Yeah, no, I had no idea. And then he was like, "Oh yeah, he's the lead singer of Quiet Riot."
Huh. They still a thing? Are they still together and everything?
I mean, not really, no. I mean, I think
Oh,
they do, like, reunion stuff occasionally, but, yeah, they're not really, like, making music, but,
sure.
yeah, it just like I said, it just blew my mind a little bit, so fun fact about brothers today.
Yeah, that's cool. And there's a sort of brotherly theme in the movie we're about to talk about.
Very true. My
Mhm.
goodness, we are on point today.
Yeah. Well, the wine is good. I'm not an expert, but it is like crisp, like I'd be looking for from a white wine. But yeah, it kind of lingers, sits on
Mhm.
your palate a little bit longer. It's
Very
the
nice.
right the right citrus, and it's not too sweet. So, and it really is a nice color. Like
Yes, it is.
probably, that's
Is it, dare we say, a golden color? Oh,
I mean, especially on camera. It looks extra golden on camera.
it
But
does.
yeah. So, perfect. Well, cheers.
Cheers.
It's not often I join you in the wine drinking. Okay, well,
Got my Real Housewives glass and everything.
very nice.
I was gonna find a way to work
um
this Terry Dubrow information in there.
yeah, exactly. Um, well, if you want any more information on us, follow us on all the places. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share. Like right now, we're live on X, Twitch, and YouTube. So any of those places, podcasts on the rocks. We'd appreciate it. And if you're watching live, give us a thumbs up, like the stream. So, um, when it comes to liking things, Andrew, have you liked any other shows that you've been watching this week, or movies, or anything?
Indeed, indeed. I've had a split. I finished up one of my perennial favorites, Great British Baking Show. Person I knew was going to win won. Um, so yay, that was awesome. This person is talented and deserves it. And as always, just a delight of a show. I miss it already.
Nice.
And then I finished up a show I've also loved for a long time, the American version of Ghosts. They finished up season 4 and they just premiered season 5. They had been kind of, I think, lagging in some of their storylines, and they did a big twist at the last end of the season slash beginning of this one that I kind of
Okay.
hope is gonna inject some, pardon the pun, new life into this show about
Hmm.
people living the afterlife. So
Okay.
still highly recommend it. It's a good comedic show, a good classic 20-minute sitcom. Yeah,
Nice.
glad I'm swinging back into that. On the kind of serious side of things, I've watched 2 movies that are less funny, but both good. I watched Alien Romulus as part of our ongoing discussion of
Yes.
all things Alien. And then an Alien Romulus I watched for the first time, and then another movie I watched for the first time, though the story is familiar, is Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein.
Nice.
So I've been
Yeah.
busy.
I feel a little bad in like taking the break from the alien stuff, but I really want to rewatch Romulus as well,
Mhm.
and I have yet to watch Frankenstein, so we get time. I think this is good. We can. There's no
No,
rush on the alien stuff. We'll just keep it rocking.
it'll be good because as you watch Frankenstein, I've already watched it, so I can turn my attention to Alien Earth, which is gonna take me a little bit longer, to
Right.
complete, but you already have, so we're just flip-flopping.
Yep. Yep. Is Frankenstein? That's like over 3 hours. Am I
No,
correct?
it's
It's
not
not.
that long. It's,
Okay.
2 hours and 40 minutes, I think.
Okay. Okay.
So, yeah, so it's long, it's solid.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to commit
Hmm.
some time, but yeah, no, it's not 3.
All right. Well, planning on that for a Sunday night, so that's good. Um, Perfect. Yeah, you watching the holiday baking stuff on Food Network,
I haven't
or
started
is
that yet.
okay?
No. No, I refuse. I love it, and
You
I
ref-
and I almost I do I almost got sucked in, but I just love Thanksgiving, and I think it's such a sad, overlooked little holiday.
Well,
So,
I think
I
they
just love to give it
do.
its due, and
They
I
kind
don't
of.
feel like most people do.
I think they give. Well, okay. So one other thing, I guess they have a season 2 of the Harry Potter baking show. So that's
Mm,
going now. I
true.
didn't
True,
start
they
that
do.
yet, but it is out. And then Ashley's been putting on the holiday one, and that's what I said too. Like, oh, it's Christmas, but it's she said it's a holiday. So they do Thanksgiving, they do Hanukkah, they do Christmas. They like kind of
Oh,
cover
nice.
it all, you know. So
Nice. Yeah, I feel like Thanksgiving gets such short shrift.
it
Um,
does.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just everybody's just in the mood to skip right to Christmas, so, yeah.
Yeah. We're trying to like, get the kids to like be excited for Thanksgiving, but they don't really know what it is yet. So
Mhm.
we have Thanksgiving books and different stuff, but really it's just like, can Halloween just be back? Is the kind of their attitude.
Yes!
Um
Yes! Oh
so
my
I'm
god, yes.
So I'm sure it took us quite a while, and Vigo still sometimes picks out the Halloween book to read or whatever. It's like, maybe it's not Halloween until next year yet, like,
Yeah.
how-
Yeah.
but
So we have a skeleton that we call Mr. Bones, and he's like motion activated, and he says like little phrases when you move around in front of him and stuff, and the kids love it. We finally put him away. But every day Cora asks me, "I go see Mr. Bones." And I have to be like, "No, Mr. Bones is in his long sleep until next Halloween." But every day without fail, I will back the car out of the garage and she'll look over to the front step where he is. Mr. Bones, I want to see Mr. Bones. I'm like,
Mhm.
oh man, Halloween's never gonna go away.
Yep. Well, I'm anticipating them liking Christmas this year, so then they'll,
Yes.
like, be excited for what that is, but then there'll be a
Yes.
process of that ending too, so
Yes.
Christmas is over. Now I can look forward to Valentine's Day.
Yes.
So, yep. Okay. Well, that's good. I I've been kind of reading some different comics. And one of the bigger things I've
Mhm.
been trying to squeeze in is the new game Arc Raiders. Some of our friends are playing that, and I haven't been getting on it as much as I'd like, but it's like a $40 game, and it's a new extraction shooter that kind of came out of nowhere, and people are really liking it. I really like it. I created this head canon that it's like Star Wars 31,000 years before the Battle of Yavin.
Okay.
Because there's a vibe to some of it sometimes, and a part of the aesthetic. It's sort of a retro futurist thing in elements of it.
Okay.
And so my idea in this is like, yeah, in the Star Wars world, before the hyperdrive was invented, um, they had they had their own battle with AI, and that's what they're dealing with now. And humans will have to come on top, and then you'll see in Star Wars how it comes. It's like the droids are obviously smart, but they're, you know, none of them are trying to take over. They're all
Mhm.
like they're servants. There's
Mhm.
like, but yeah. Anyways, it's been a fun game.
Interesting.
You can play with two other people, so it's teams of three, and it's cool because the whole idea is your humanity. I don't know that much about the story really, but the idea is that you're humanity and you're stuck below surface. Anytime you go above ground, there's these machines they call arc that will kill you. And so humans are trying to survive, and so they go to the surface to
Hmm.
scavenge for things. And so you
Hmm.
play with there's other people playing at the same time, and other than your couple people on a team, and you may encounter them during your run or you may not, and you can talk to them or you may not, and they may attack you or they may not. They're real people, so you have to sort out like if you're going to kill each other or
Mhm.
not. And so there's all
Okay.
kinds of fun stories with people like, um you know someone getting down and they like revive them, pick them up, and then they end up helping them out, or you meet up and the first thing you say is like, "Are you friendly?" What, and say yes, friendly, and then people will kind of loot
Mhm.
together or something, and then like so you can kind of team up or whatever, and mostly that's what happens. People leave each other be
Okay.
or whatever, because ultimately you're trying to get loot, and in the world setting, you'd be helping each other because you're in this together in a way.
Sure.
But there's
Sure.
also people going to be out there like, well, but if I just kill people, I'll probably get higher value loot. And so I'll just do
Ah,
that too.
I
So,
see.
yeah. So you never know. And
It's
sort of the
very
rule, I
realistic.
guess. Yeah.
It's very realistic, like post-apocalyptic, like you never know who you come across.
It's a little bit of a social experiment. And what people seem to say is like, if you're playing solo, almost no one is aggressive because you're alone. So the idea of like you're by yourself up there,
Mhm.
and you just like you're more willing to cooperate and be peaceable than if you have your squad. You've got two
Mhm.
buddies with you. Let's go.
Sure.
You now all of a sudden are bolstered and have this confidence that and so then people get more aggressive. So
Sure.
I don't know. It's been a lot of fun. I just wish I could get to playing it a little bit more, but yeah.
Mhm.
Um, and then two other things quickly. The Marvel Rivals is another game that's part of that takes me away from it
Yeah.
when I like do gaming stuff. They've added the character of Gambit to the
Yeah.
roster. So they've done a really good job with bringing him in. It seems like he looks the part. They got the voice actor from '97 to
Yes.
be in there. So
Love it.
sounds good. And then in the next half season here, so like in a month, Rogue will be playable. So the whole idea of this season is like they're doing Gambit and Rogar coming together for a wedding. Gambit was like trying to steal the best ring for Rogue ever or something, and things went wrong and whatever. So yeah.
Cute. I love it.
So that's been good. I still haven't gotten. I've barely played with Gambit, but he seems really cool. I've just it's hard to learn a new character is the deal.
Sure.
And I really like playing as Mr. Fantastic. He's a lot of fun and I'm good with him. So and then this DC card game we played, this deck building physical tabletop card game that we thought they stopped making expansions for and everything. All of a sudden there were some new ones that Ashley found. And so we bought the Justice League Dark set and we've been playing that and that's been a lot of fun to get back into. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Lots of gaming time. I'm jealous. That's something that's, been on my list for a while to get back into and just kind of like have, I don't know, been floundering around the gaming world. Haven't
Yeah.
had the time to do it.
I mean, you'll notice in my list, I have no shows, you
Yeah,
know?
it really is choices now. You have to kind of
Yeah.
like pick what you want to
It's
do.
one
You
or
don't
the
get all
other.
the time for activities.
No, no. So we got space for the activities. We don't have time for the activities.
Yes. I knew if I said activities a certain way, you'd pick up on it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what's been going on here. The one
Yes.
thing I did get to watch was Goldeneye. It's been 30
Mhm.
years, not since I've watched it, since it came out, and I was very excited to rewatch it, get back
Yes.
into the Bond mood here because it's been a little while. I was kind of rewatching a lot of Bond movies for a hot minute and then work and everything. And so it's been a minute. Like we were reading, I'm still in the middle of the Goldfinger book, and it all just sort of got
Right,
paused.
yeah.
So I'm happy that we're kicking that back off for with Goldeneye because I always associate Bond in a way with the holidays as well. So
I was just
um
gonna say that. That's like Christmas and New Year's movies kinda that's your jam.
yeah. hmm So, Goldeneye. Let's talk a little bit about your history with it and what it means to you.
Yeah. Yeah, Goldeneye was one of the earliest Bond movies I saw. Um, I can't remember if it was, like, 3rd or 4th, but it was very early on in my Bond tenure. I had watched Sean Connery first, and then I think Pierce Brosnan was the next Bond I was introduced to. So, they probably why are, up there as some of my favorites.
Mhm.
If not at times, depending on the movie, considered my 1 and 2 for Bond. Um, because yeah, I think there's just something about, like, kind of those early films, and I got to see just very choice films, like, GoldenEye is one of my favorites of Brosnan's, and one of my favorite Bonds across the board. So, yeah.
All right. Nice. Yeah, I think Goldeneye was the second Bond film I ever saw. The
Okay, yeah.
first being For Your Eyes Only. And that movie really sort of
Interesting.
set the tone for me because it was in my mind, the right mix of humor and seriousness. I mean, it's
Sure.
basically Roger Moore's most serious film, and I
Sure.
love it. And
I don't think I ever knew that you started with more.
okay, yeah, yep. And
Interesting.
but at the time watching it, we just had the VHS.
Yeah,
I actually have it over here, but so I don't know, parents decided to buy it or whatever. But I didn't know James Bond was like a thing at that point, like a large thing. It was like, well, this is a movie I like.
same.
It's cool. So when I found out that there was more to it was probably with Goldeneye. And the interesting thing with Goldeneye was it was I also think I saw this one yet at home on VHS for the first time. And then also
Same.
the video game came out too.
Mhm.
And so for people our age, there's really a tie between like both
Yes.
of these, like a double cultural whammy of Goldeneye in the
Yes.
movie form and the game. And I argue sometimes that the game had a longer, more lasting impact. Shockingly, just on culture. If you look up Goldeneye, often just it's game stuff that comes up before the
Mhm.
movie stuff. Um, but either way, and then my first Bond movie I saw in the theater was the follow up with Tomorrow Never Dies. That was the first time I saw it in the
Oh,
theater.
okay. Sure.
So yeah, but
Also a good movie.
Goldeneye, it's interesting how I feel I'm relatively aware of like the Bond community and just fans in general or whatever, at least the ones that are enough to be online and stuff like that. And it's interesting how as the movies are coming out, people think one thing, and then when they're done and they've moved on, they think another thing, and it sort of shifts throughout time their perception of the quality of each thing. Like
Mhm.
people got really worn of the Brosnan movies, and even in World Is Not Enough, people started to be like, but they were doing well at the box office. And
Mhm.
then by the end, people were ready for change. And then, oh my
Mhm.
God, Blonde Bond, people were loving it with Craig. But then now that the Craig ones are done, people really look back on them poorly in a lot of ways. A lot of people are like,
Yeah.
they're very dismissive of the Craig films. And it's just like sort of did it with Brosnan too, because they feel they didn't end well and Craig not ending well. So they kind of, but then I don't know. It just changes over time. And it's interesting. My opinion changes over time with them as well. And so I was kind of worried,
Yeah.
this being one of my it movies, um, and high up on the list, if I would feel differently, because I know some fans have watched this again recently for the anniversary and felt it lowered on their list. Like they'd appreciated
Mm.
it less than maybe some other things or they had previously. So I was kind of worried
Interesting.
going in if I would be
Yeah.
feeling that way or not. So Um, before we get into the movie specifically, I want to just show off a couple goodies. One, I still have a DVD copy that came with a set, and it has it's back when, well, one, DVDs, but two, they came with things. So it's a
Oh,
little booklet
yeah.
in here, and
I remember.
it's got some information on it. Yeah, I bet you have this too, because I think we both had
I do, I
those
do, I
DVD
can see
box
it.
sets. Yeah, I think
Yes,
you
I can
had
see
the
it.
other box set too, probably, because there were
Yep.
they made 2 of them that were just, like, random. They weren't in order or anything like that. They just
You're right.
yeah,
No, they just threw a couple movies together for
yeah.
some reason.
Then I bought this Blu-ray version, which I love the cover. I love that image. Always love that
Yeah.
image. Um, Great. One of my favorite Bond girls, and I just that's so like them to come with a 4K version, but whatever. And then I have this magazine.
My
So
god. The height on
that's
Xenia's hair, I love it.
yeah, yeah. She's on the top of her hair game.
Ah.
Ah. So this has like some good stuff in here. Here's Brosnan with a beard yet.
Yep.
Um, it's talking to Martin Campbell in this one. I think this is where I read it. I wrote in my notes how um, during the St. Petersburg tank stuff, there were people calling in thinking they were really destroying St. Petersburg because they
Sure.
built replicas and different stuff of so many things, and yeah, people were freaking out.
Oh, such a good
So
chase scene.
yeah. So, anyways, here we go. Get the Bond ladies in
Yes.
here.
Bond light and Bond dark.
Yeah, I
Very,
love when
very
they.
Two-Face.
Mhm. Um, yeah. So, anyways, if anyone's heard of this before, MI6 Confidential is a really good magazine. If you're a big Bond nerd, they do like I don't know what it is, 6 issues a year or something like that, and then often a
Oh, okay.
larger one that's really covering. Like I have one on Skyfall production and Casino Royale production that's
Ooh,
thicker, and I think
those would be
Moonraker.
good.
Yeah. So that's how I introduced kind of my son to James Bond, is reading through him the Skyfall production MI6 Confidential magazine. He just
Sure.
wants to look at the numbers mostly, but then I point out things and stuff in there, and so yeah.
That is fun.
Anyways, it's my little show and tell bits. Okay, so going through this movie now, I don't know where you wanna start, but did this movie hold up to you? Did you feel differently about it in any way? Um, or there's some
It
standout things that really felt
yeah.
different watching it again?
It did hold up for me. I think there were moments when I was a little bit more critical, I was like, "Oh, as a kid, I just sort of bought that. As an adult, I'm like, "Oh, that wouldn't happen that way." But it never really took away from my enjoyment of the film. I really think it's a good solid storyline. I love all the characters in it. I think everybody is distinctive and every actor does their job well, no matter how big or how small their role. Everybody fits. And I think that's one of the things that I like best about this movie is they're not like an ensemble cast, but all the cast works together to tell this very straightforward story in the end. So, yeah, I really like it. It's a good introduction to Brosnan as our double O now. Um I think it hits a lot of the right balance between comedy and drama and seriousness, even though I think sometimes it was finding its footing a little bit. But yeah, I overall I think it's a quality film and it held up for me on watching it. Sorry, I'm having a hard time staying totally serious as we watch this still here.
Mhm. Xenia, yeah.
Xenia.
It's
Ah,
like, this time I will, let's see, because
the
what they
pleasure
keep
will be
saying
all
is,
mine.
yeah, pleasure be all mine, yeah, exactly.
I'm not gonna even attempt to
Yep.
do her accent because I did think, especially early on in the movie, her accent had its own a little bit of consistency problems, that did improve through the movie, actually, I thought.
Mm.
But
I
yeah,
mean, so much to say. First, um, yeah, it holds up for me. My worry was dashed because,
good.
I really I I appreciate it just as much or more in a lot of ways, and because I've seen it so many times, you start looking at other stuff, and that's when you start, you start being more critical or whatever, and it really just
Mhm,
didn't have a lot of problems. Um,
mhm,
as you said, the cast, the ensemble, I made note of this, how the it's something that other Bond movies have failed to do so well. Is there's so many colorful characters in this
mhm.
that stand out enough, but don't, they're not show stealing necessarily. They don't
Right,
break the reality or whatever, but they
right.
really fill in and make a unique character. So from obviously Xenia on a top, great baddie,
Mhm,
bad girl, very um kinky, whatever. But then
mhm,
Bodhi's weird, he's not just a normal programmer guy. He's a weird guy. He's got an ego. He's got chauvinist kind of thing. He's this prideful thing in competition with his coworkers and whatever. And then
mhm.
his weird ticks. And then you've got Robbie Coltrane. He's playing so
Valentine
he's,
Tarkovsky,
yeah,
yeah,
it's got a history, "Oh, I gave him the bum knee, and I'll
right.
pay you back." Like,
And
that could
here's
just,
Minnie Driver as my
yeah,
random mistress. She is always just like, "What are you doing here, Minnie Driver?" And somehow I love it, even though it's so
yep,
weird.
yep. It's just there's a lot of that, and, like, all these different characters. I mean, you think about, because in the past, you'd have Q, of course, you have Q. He's one of
Mhm.
those great people, but this movie's filled with a lot of other ones. You got the
Yes.
CIA operative that they brought back from The Living Daylights, which I always thought was weird as a different character,
Yes.
same actor. He's a strange guy, but he stands out and he plays his part. And I don't know. You look at, like, Casino Royale. who do you have? You have a guy that gives you don't even have Q. You have the guy that gives the injection, the tracking to Craig, zero personality, just nothing.
Right.
You know, you've got your couple Bond girls, obligatory course, and you've got your villain. And everybody else,
Yeah.
like, they could be different poker players that had more moments and stood out or something, but they don't. So,
They really don't. I mean, yeah. I'm having a hard time even sort of remembering right now. It's a little bland.
mhm. So, I mean, it's not like it's necessary. It's impressive for this movie. Like, they keep going scene to scene, different characters, and they're all kind of just on the edge of being bigger, larger than life, but still fit.
Well, and I think it's because they strike a balance between either being useful and or moving the plot forward, and then also having some sort of, kind of definable human flaw.
Mm.
Where Xenia is a sore loser. She
Mhm.
can't take it when she loses at stuff, whether it be, car racing or cards
Biatch.
or yes, you can just see it in her face. She's just so like
Mhm.
childish. And Boris, like you said, he's got an ego. He's prideful. He just thinks he's the best. And when he's not the best, total panic time and he just melts down and
Mhm.
can't do what he's supposed to do. He can't be like genius like programmer slash hacker if he's melting down over the fact that he can't guess Natalia's password or the FBI found
Yep.
him. So yeah, so like all of these people are like um Zukovsky needs an audience. Like he's very much a performer in his own right and he needs like his peeps backing him up
Yeah.
as and he's playing to them as he
Tell him,
interrogates Bond.
Dimitri. Silence.
Silence. Yeah, that's what I saw you wrote that, and that's one of my favorite parts too. So
Uh,
yeah, so everybody contributes, but everybody has flaws, and they're not goofy. They're just real things that we're like, yep, totally get it. That makes
yep.
sense for you to be a human character. So
Yep. Um, what'd you think of? Because I feel like it has to be talked about, and maybe people don't talk about it enough. What'd you think of about the music in this movie?
sure. I caught some of your comments, so I was kind of trying to pay more attention to the music. And I have a couple of thoughts. One, the opening is such video game music. The one where he's like
Mm.
running across that like dam and moving through I can't remember what the is it Archangel Weapons Asylum.
Oh yeah.
Um
Mhm.
but yeah, just it's very video game music. It's just like these like funky beats in the background and like pauses and like just sort of like a steady, like, I'm
Doo doo
moving
doo doo.
through yeah, yeah. It's just very like my video game character is moving through to get to the objective and I'm on the mission. So that was something that stuck out to me. It was very I could see where this movie particularly inspired some, video game play. Um, and then I love the opening song. I love the opening sequence. It's a song I could just like listen to on the radio. You know what I mean? Like I could
Oh
just
yeah.
hear Goldeneye. The lyrics don't always make sense, but whatever. Like
Mm.
lyrics never fully like match the exact thing of the movie anyway for James Bond, I think. They give you like an
Often not.
impression, but
Yeah.
but yeah, like there's not, 100% like I'm going to sing the plot of this movie. Um and then yeah, I think at other times they kind of stuck with that very like boilerplate gaming music when there were certain sequences that I could see being turned into pieces in a game or like vignettes in a game, and then they kind of struck a balance with playing the theme when there was big moments,
Sure.
but I think it all worked. It was just sort of something I noticed a little bit more than I
Yeah.
have in other films.
The this movie gets a lot of critiques for the soundtrack here, and I think that
Mm,
it really I have issues with some of the moments, some of the choices. Like when Bond
Mhm.
is in the beginning in the Aston Martin and having a little chase with Xenia. It's this
Mhm.
really funky wow
Yeah.
wow thing kind of, and it's just yeah,
Yeah.
it's weird. It's weird. There's a few moments like that that maybe three
Yeah.
moments that really stand out as odd choices, and they're noticeable. And I've always thought they're weird, but it's part of it, and I guess I just accepted it. But there's so much of the rest of it that has a unique character to me from any other
Mhm.
Bond movie that really, like the kind of hollow, I don't know what would it be, like hollow percussion-y, tingy
Mhm.
sound,
Yeah.
metally sound. It's a hollow reverberates, right? Like that feels Russia. That feels CCP. It's like,
Mhm.
I don't know. It works for this setting and the bad guys, and it really creates
Mhm.
a tone that is instantly recognizable as this movie, and then those sorts of notes translates to the game as well.
Yeah.
Um, they play off of those things. And my understanding is that one thing they did bring in a different composer to work on music for the tank chase because they didn't like what Eric Serra put together.
Mhm.
And you notice there's a little more. It feels a little more what we'd be familiar with, and you get the Bond theme and some of that. So I think that works
Mhm.
great too. But I like that the
Yeah.
film has this identity with this sound apart from any of the others. So
Yeah,
I
it certainly tried something new. It didn't 100% nail it, but there are moments, like you said, I think fit very well.
yep, yep. Okay, so I took a weird smattering of notes. I like watching these movies that were I first saw as a kid because I forget the last one I watched that was like this. We kind of went back, and I was thinking, man, this movie was influential to me. Like it was such a moment in my life,
Sure.
probably like, 7 or
Boy.
8. And
Was
it
it
just
was it like Armageddon? Was it Fifth Element? Like, what did we was it
oh,
from
yeah, it could have been
hell? Like,
Armageddon.
what did
Probably
you watch?
Armageddon. Probably
Oh,
Armageddon was,
sure.
yeah. But yeah, then this one was also the same. It's just like, man, these
Yeah.
lines are so good, and they have been seared in my brain. And then there was just stuff like that probably was too wrong for me. Like I remember being confused at like the violent kissing and the fights
Yes.
plus sex and as a
Yes.
kid,
Yes.
and I don't.
I agree with you. Like, I never really got what Xenia was doing, like
Mhm,
how she was hurting people. You
right.
know, I didn't understand what exactly, like
I'm just
you
like,
don't
wait, does she
understand,
like him?
right?
And
Right?
then
And then suddenly
so
like the guy is dying and you're like, "But what is she doing exactly?"
mhm. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the most intense body triangle without having to lock your legs at all. It's just,
Yes.
thighs of
Just
steel.
right? Right? Wild.
So I love that she has that. I love that it's this weird quirk that she just is like giddy and elated by murdering people. Like I love that
Yes.
look when she mows down everybody in the Goldeneye facility, and then
Yeah.
Armov is like, okay, because she's sitting there like moaning,
Yes.
it's like just a subtle little look he does is like, but it's
Yes.
glad you're
It's
on my
it's
side.
very well, it's very Freudian. It's very, like line blurred between sex and death. And she just sort of like they in her character, they take that and they're just like, what if we just like kind of rode that to the most absurd level
Yeah.
it could possibly go? Um, and I think, it would be very easy for that to become ridiculous. And
Yes.
it kind of strides up to that line, but never quite crosses it over.
Yep.
Which again is I think something this movie does very well in characters. Like later on I said, Wade is a very cowboy character of a man, but he never crosses over into ridiculous.
Right. Yep.
So that's something that her quirk of how she kills people here could be ridiculous, but this movie kind of saves that and makes it
It's her
weird but dangerous.
commitment.
Yes.
It's Famke Janssen's commitments to this. She's like,
Yes.
he really, really sells it, and I'm
Yeah,
just
you as an actor can't think it's ridiculous because the second you do, it doesn't work. So she
yep.
has to just go all in, and she
Yep.
does. This is
Hmm.
really impressive acting work for how I think, surface some people could find it.
Yeah. Right. Um so yeah, this is I think the sex scene left a mark on me, and now that I see it again, not sure, maybe TMI.
I actually
Um
think the second one where they're in the pool left a bigger mark on me because I didn't understand it at all. James Bond is
mhm.
so casual, like she's genuinely trying to kill him and she gets him at several points, where he's not breathing and he just sort of keeps casually walking towards his gun like, "I can handle this."
Mhm.
Ah,
I
so
kind of I
strange.
kind of like that because she's unarmed, so he's not really seeing her as a threat in that way, other than like if
Yeah.
she were to get his gun, obviously, then there'd
Yeah.
be a problem. So, but yeah, it was a little confusing, but he's like ready to just go into this if this crazy woman is going to go that way.
Yeah.
He's like, that's close enough, not close enough for what I have in mind. Okay, let's do that. Well, wait, now you're gonna bite my lip off. I don't know. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's yeah.
Yeah, he keeps giving her
Uh,
some chances for this to turn into, like,
yeah.
some sexy time, and she keeps
Mhm.
not taking them.
Yeah. Yep. Um, so a lot of good stuff here. There's so many good lines. It's Moneypenny says, this could be sexual harassment. Says, what's the penalty for that? You have to make good on your innuendos someday. And it's like
Mhm.
it's just starting their relationship, these actors' relationship so well. Um, There is, oh yeah, we talked about the Telma Dramigi silence thing. Um, he
Yeah,
said
I
that,
actually I
Q.
like, I was gonna say, I like one of Money Penny's other lines better when she says, "I trust you'll stay on a top of things."
Mhm. Yep, they put in
That's
all the
one of
little.
my favorite.
Mhm. They all handle it so well, you know.
Mhm. I
Yeah,
did
I
say I
always
love
remember
the
to use the
pacing.
bumper. That's what it's for. Always
Yes.
like that. Mhm.
I love the pacing of the one-liners in this. I think they do a really good job. They don't
Yes.
I did write later on that they don't always exactly nail the dialogue. Because a couple of Bond's one-liners are like, "This is the perfect time to say that," and it like, the dialogue doesn't quite follow through on it.
Hmm.
But I think they did a balance of, like, not too many where Roger Moore was getting into the ridiculous, but not totally abandoning, like, this kind of gallows humor. I'm saying something funny after something, maybe horrible has just happened or something awkward.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, no, exactly. It's like we had this intense moment. Zenya's trying to squeeze life out of Bond, and then the helicopter brings her back in the thing, and it's like they just survive. Well, she always did enjoy a good squeeze, and
Right,
then
right.
tension gone. It's like it's perfect.
Yes.
So, um, it's so just a lot of those lines. Really, I loved hearing them again because it's been so long, and I just remembered how um I would repeat them forever. Um,
Mhm.
I did think in watching this again now, like going back to that pool scene, yet I'm like, there's a scene we didn't see where they had to like both get dressed and Bond had to keep an eye on her yet and then get in the
Yes.
car. And like, this is a lengthy thing. The guy he knocked out had to like be
Mhm.
tied up or stay knocked out or something. And then it's like, okay, where's your clothes? Let's go. Because when Bond
Yep.
shows up, he's like perfectly, he had to tie his tie
Coiffed. Yep.
do the whole thing. It's like, what happened here,
Yep.
How did that scene unfold?
Yeah, yeah, this is like the things I think we think about as adults. Or like as a teenager, I became, obsessed with this idea that like movies never show reality because they don't show people going to the bathroom or like,
Right.
I like
Mhm.
yeah, it's the 90s, so it's just like everything's nice and glossy. We don't really
Mhm.
deal in the hard realities of, we've just been in this pool or we've been in the steam room and now we have to get dressed. James Bond isn't like pointing a gun and a hair dryer at the same time trying to, you know,
Yeah.
trying to master both of those things. It just happens.
Yeah. No, I have no problem with it. I mean, there's all kinds of things, and like I feel like in writing, you just like the scene. There's a way to make it all work enough, but it's
Yes.
cumbersome if we have to go through it. So we're not going to go through it. It's like it's not critical to the how this is
Yes.
going to go. But so
Yes.
I love Brosnan's beginning, his rapport with Q. I think that those two interact the best out of any of them. Any of the James Bonds, I think
Mhm.
Brosnan and Q are the best working off each other.
Yes. Yes. Yes, they're very like to me, kind of Val Kilmer and Michael Goff, as like Batman and
Oh,
Alfred.
that's your
This
favorite?
is like yeah, their interaction together.
Okay,
So yeah, so for me, this is that. Like, Desmond
okay.
Llewellyn's the guy who's been like there through some several, rotating male leads. And Pierce Brosnan hits that rapport with him just right, I think.
Let's see. Well, let's talk about um if any other characters. We should talk about 006, Alec Trevelyan, Sean
Of
Bean.
course.
Like,
Of course.
you know, what do you think of him? Would he have been a cool Bond? I feel like that's something that was is thought of. That they're such brothers in
Mm.
arms at the beginning of the movie, and
Mhm.
he's got his
Yeah,
own quips and sarcasm and whatever and
he does. He does.
bravado.
Yeah, it's an interesting question because of course at the end of the movie, Alec is, I was always better, James.
Yeah.
And so of course, like as the viewer, you gotta think like, were you? Were you always better? And I think that the movie kind of makes the case that, Alec is smarter than
Hmm.
Bond or like generally like a more long-term planner thinker. And so,
Sure.
kind of relying a little bit more on like the intellect side of things where this movie I think does show James as a little bit more cowboy and rolling on instinct or improvising sometimes. So I think there's a different dynamic there, but do I think he's better? The movie would suggest the outcome of the movie would suggest no. Um Yeah, I like him for what he is this whole
Yeah.
time. I don't think I could see him as James Bond, and it's really hard to watch him next to Brosnan, who nails this so well, to
Hmm.
kind of see, you know, Sean as 007.
Sure. Yeah. I've I've just always liked him. I've always been intrigued
I
by him. I
agree.
think it's not very often we get the another double O going
No,
rogue or
it's not
something.
that. But
It
or
seems
even
like
another 00. Like just,
yeah.
like it's so rare. James Bond is solo so much of the time that I just remember being so excited about another 00.
Yeah. I think ultimately it's a good call that they
Mhm.
don't take the light away from 007. They don't take the light away from Bond
Yes.
and like others are mentioned, they're killed in the line of duty, they win on
Mhm.
this, what following the tracks of whoever, but they don't really, they don't partner up, they don't do that. And so if you're going to do it sparingly and it better be good. And to me,
Yes.
this is great. And to have one that's a traitor. Now, it seems like maybe in the upcoming video game, that's going to be the case. You're going to have a former double O or something that's a traitor or
Mhm.
something like that. But, anyways, it's seldom, and we've had other governments of the world have agents defect or whatever, but um I guess you can look at Skyfall for a modern one. That was someone that worked um
Yes, of
for
course.
MI6. I don't think he was a double O. But
Well,
either
and
way.
and the difference is, he was gone sometime prior. You know,
Yep.
Alec is an active double O,
Yep. Fakes a
you
death and
know?
then is back
Right.
to. Mhm.
Right. And even though the movie says, at the beginning, like 9 years later or whatever, we don't really feel that as an audience. We feel that time
Right.
has passed, but we don't feel like, at least for me, I didn't feel like 9 years was actually the interlude between what had happened. Um so yeah, so I think that that's a little bit different, and I think this sort of plot line, like you said, can be used sparingly because, of course, in a real MI6, agents would have times when they would pair up together, but we don't need to see that in every Bond movie because it's about
Right.
him. But I think that, just having this every once in a while is a smart acknowledgement of, like, of course, there would be missions where it would be necessary to send two people.
Yep. Um, Unrelated, I have to say the passwords used in this movie would no longer hold up to any account creation standards at all.
No, no. Although they do encourage you to use words and phrases, yeah, this is not it.
It's uh
I did
they're
I
yeah.
did always think about that as a kid, and I thought about this as an adult. When Boris sets the password for Spike, he does it right in front of Natalia. Girl, are you not looking at his fingers? It is
Well,
5
she's over
letters.
on her desk a little bit there, right? Spiked them.
No, at that point, he's right next to
Okay.
her,
I
and
don't
she's
know.
over him looking at, Langley and the FBI checking out his trail.
Okay.
Yeah. He types it
Okay.
right in front of her, and I was just like, "Girl, look.
Hmm.
You gotta look at those hands, man."
They type so fast, you know,
I
so
guess, I
fast.
guess.
But I
Modern
mean,
modern passwords,
but
you would never. I mean, people have so
no.
many phrases that, like, it could be anything because it's, like, 26 letters long and numbers and symbols, but for chair, I
Yeah.
think you could
It's
have
like
gotten it.
he's setting a thing like begin encryption, and the encryption key is like, yeah, 4 or 5 letters. I just like it. It's and a word nonetheless, not nonsense, a word.
Right.
But it's just I that also set in my head for a while as a kid. Like this is how hacking works. You just
Mhm,
like
mhm,
guessing passwords,
mhm.
just
Right,
so
right.
you can't crack my codes.
Yes.
But it's fun. It's fun way to do it. And again, for the early days of the internet, like he has this
Yeah,
like Photoshop version of Natalia on a bikini body, whatever. It's like, oh, I'll put it on,
yep,
I could put it on the internet, and early days of that. But I also think that
yes.
this movie stands the test of time in part because, like, the story is still works. The idea that they have a EMP proof helicopter and that, hey, we're going to set everybody back to the Stone Age with an EMP wipe. That is
Mhm,
totally plausible. That is more plausible today than it was
mhm.
then. And we're more reliant on technology today than we were then. And I mean, I wrote in my notes like if the US falls, there's no way that doesn't happen somewhere in the world. There's no way we don't get some EMP
Yeah,
strikes somewhere because people are in trouble if that happens. Or we just have
yeah,
horrible solar flares that wipes stuff out too. Like the threat of this is still a reasonable thing here, and
I
I
agree.
think that
And it
works.
would be much
And
more
then all
devastating today.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. Cars not working. It would just be like everything not working. We're so reliant on all of it. Um, so I think that's cool. And then ultimately that, yeah, it's a bit of a revenge story. A guy is like you know, he's put into his um, working for the government that he feels responsible for his parents' death, and he's going to strike out and get back at him, and
Mhm.
using that as an excuse just because so he can because he wants to rob him and become rich, or is he really still hold the grudge? Either way, yeah, it's a very modern day way of theft. You're not breaking into a bank anywhere.
Mhm.
You're just digitally transferring, erasing the footprints. Like that all holds up in my book.
Yeah.
If there's
Mhm.
any other notes that you've taken that really changed, or if there's something you got to bring up, I think that tank chase still great. Oh yeah, I have to say the fight scene between Alec and Bond at the end is still one of my
Mm.
favorite hand-to-hand fight scenes ever. Like,
Sure.
period. In any film, I always liked it, and, like, especially being in martial arts now for, like, 4.5 years or something, I want to see a different eye, like, if I can't stand it or something, it still is intense. It's still really good.
Sure.
I still love it. The music is great. The whole just very well done.
Yeah, I was taking notes on that actually because I was thinking about their final fight and then thinking about like how small of a surface they eventually have to work with when they're getting out there like on the satellite. They can't really do big epic fight scene. So like what can they do on this tiny little area and make it menacing and make it terrifying? And they do it really well. Like this concludes or climaxes or whatever we wanna say, like, really epically.
Mhm.
Again, for working for, like, conveying a fight on such a small surface. So, yeah, I
Yeah.
love this whole ending battle between them.
It feels personal, it's really back and forth,
Mhm. It's intimate.
yep, it's very visceral and, like, largely sort of unrefined. There's, like, single legs and shove 'em in a thing, throw the chain, you miss. It's like it's just it's great, and then it's showing these 2 people that were best of friends, and then they are really even.
Mhm.
Like there are things that just work out in one person's favor or another, and Bond
Yes.
ends up winning because Alex distracted for a second looking at Natalia in the helicopter. It gives him the chance to
Mhm.
give him the boot and turn him over, and so
Yep.
yeah, it's really good. I think it's a great ending.
Oh, I
um
mean, and the line, "For England, James? No, for me."
mhm,
Woo! It hits
really
that.
good.
I mean, you can't recreate some of the film. Obviously you can't recreate your own reaction the first time Alec walks out and reveals himself as Yanis, that he's alive. Um, or I love the very jarring, you know, knockout and wake up in the Tiger helicopter and holy crap, like the missiles are coming, we have to get out. What am I
Yeah,
gonna do? You can't recreate your surprise at things, but you can recreate moments like this where it just feels like the line still hits and you
yep,
can feel the emotion behind it. So, yeah, that's something that's always going to feel amazing.
yep. I love that your note about where was it? It's like no one dies just like falling in this. They die
Yes.
flailing or whatever. They're very
Everybody,
active deaths.
nobody slumps. Nobody slumps over after they've been hit with bullets. They like dance their way through.
Mhm.
Or like it's just like, "Oh, I've been hit with a bullet. Hacha! Let me jump backwards." So yeah, everybody has an active death in this. Nobody just dies. Except I guess Boris maybe who gets frozen um
Yeah.
in his like trademark invincible
Mhm.
pose. But even that's pretty active, so yeah.
Yep.
I still speaking of
Um,
Boris, I still love the pen clicks when he's doing like he's hacking and we're watching like the pen clicks.
yes.
I drove myself crazy as a kid trying to like count for like
Exactly.
1, 2, 3.
I
It's
agree.
so and still as an adult, I still was like 1, Like, trying
Yeah.
to get the rhythm of it and like, is he gonna do it? Is he gonna do it? It's such a good scene.
I think they don't line up. They purposely are, like, cutting them out.
Yeah.
You don't get to see them all. So,
Yes, which is great because then it does
yeah,
what it's
you don't
supposed to do,
know.
which is yeah, you're like
Yeah.
hooked. You're like, where is it? Where is like that one? Okay, was there another click in there? Yeah, it's good.
Mhm. Yeah, the product placement for Perrier, yes, I thought of that as well. It's like, that's a big one there. What's that saying? Is
So
that saying "Buy Perrier" or is that saying like, "Ugh,
it's
F
trash, like run
Perrier"?
it
Yeah.
over with a tank. Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
uh yeah,
What's this
that's
different
something
version
that
of a
like you
bikini
notice.
shot? Oh, sorry.
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna say it's something that you notice as an adult that you don't just like really think about as a kid, but as an adult, you're
Yeah.
like, product placement.
And then it's become more prevalent in movies now, and even in Bond movies for
Yes.
sure, so, yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
What's the bikini shot one? Different version of a bikini shot for
Oh,
that.
where, Natalia's walking up to Bond as he's, like, brooding alone on the beach, and they just sort of, like,
Okay,
zero in on her bottom half. So
okay,
it's like the bikini, like, walk up the beach, but it's, just, like, a different version of it is what I
okay.
kinda came to mind.
Yeah, it's like a midriff kinda shot, right? Sort of like belly.
Yes, yep.
Yeah, okay, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
mhm, indeed.
Mhm. I think, that can be another episode or whatever. We can always just do an episode on that, but I think Natalia to me is one of my favorite Bond girls. I absolutely love Natalia. I
Agreed.
think that, for a good Bond girl, I probably didn't hurt that it was one of the earliest, again, being 7 or
Mhm,
8, but, love her look, love the character she is, love the way she react
mhm,
interacts with Bond. She has a good personality that just like they just
mhm,
work together. She's not like, you know, too, pushing him away. She's like it's like the right moments. Like she's skeptical of him and everything, of course. Why would I go with you? Why would I
mhm.
trust with you? But like that turns quick enough, and it just all it works well. She's there for a reason. It makes
Yeah,
sense, She's the lone surviving person from Cervanaya, and so they need the information from her. And I don't know. I think underappreciated, not oft mentioned Bond girl is just really good. So
mhm. Yeah, I think she like you said, she strikes some good balances. She knows what she's good at and what her value is, like when they're on the train and she's like, "You get us out of here. I'm gonna figure out where they are. This
hmm
is what I can do. I can't, I'm not like trained in combat, so I'm not gonna pretend that like, oh, I have super fighting skills, but here's how I can contribute, and then let's go do the thing, and track them down." Or, she's very scrappy when she survives Severnaya. But then, Fatal Flaw comes out where she just thinks like, "Oh, Boris didn't get killed, but he's not a traitor, he's my friend. I'm just gonna
right.
trust him." So
Yeah.
she's not perfect, she's not flawless, she's not, she has, a little naivete, but she's also got practical skills that can be useful without it being unbelievable that this random civilian woman would now just be like, "Oh, I'm a perfect asset to your mission."
Right. Yep. Yep. Um, okay. I'm sure there's something I missed that I want to say, but I just think, I will say that
M.
fashion
Judi
is
Dench.
good. Judy Dench, yeah. Introduction of Judy Dench, yeah. I love
Yep.
their little interaction. It's a fun start of a kind of like, yeah, again,
Mhm.
I like in the books how Bond is so sort of reverential to M. He has such respect for
Mhm.
M, and there's a decorum that he'll follow and stuff like that. So I do like that. At the same time, for something different, it's this little antagonistic kind of thing that develops into this,
Mhm.
like clearly loving relationship as well. Um, Starts off with a cool thing here. And like there's no one that's right or wrong
Right.
exactly. Like you see me as a bean counter, and it's like, yeah, they kind of label each other. And I don't know. It's good.
Yeah, it's a smart move because it gives the relationship some place to go to have them start out a little bit more standoffish with each other. And I think, it's a good measure taking of each other, but also a chance for them to say like what they feel. Judy Dench is very no nonsense. She's like, I get you don't like my methods. I'm very analytical. I might not be in the field as much, but I'll still send you to your death if I feel like that serves my mission. So it's not that like I'm too careful. It's just that I want to know that your death means something. You're an asset that I'm not wasting. And then, I think that gives James Bond some grudging respect for her. But again, they're not like total buddy buddy. He doesn't revere her like he did the previous M. So they can grow in trust throughout, the
Yeah.
movies.
Yep. Yep. Um.
I cut you off on the fashion part. I do love the fashion in this movie.
Okay.
Everybody has, again, their own unique style. I definitely wanted Natalia's like programmer outfit as a kid. Like the little
Hmm.
cardigan, black skirt, and like tights and stuff. It's so 90s.
I
I loved it.
mean,
I thought she looked
there's
great.
probably a reason Ashley has that. I didn't realize it till I saw the movie again. Um. Yeah. No, it's
But
it's a
then,
good look.
Xenia's, like, total military look at the end, I loved that too. It's so perfect
Hmm.
for her, and I was like, "Oh, I wish I could pull it off." I think I could as an
It's
adult, not as a kid.
sure. Yeah. She goes through a lot. She's got that. She has the like full on
Yep,
elegant
glam.
look. Then there's the sort of dressed up. It could say a funeral look, but formal dress wear on the ship where she's
Mhm.
seducing the guys, and yeah, she's got some good looks. Just a bath towel, that's a good look too. So, um, yeah, I made note that Bond, like I said, Bond's sunglasses is like Percival sunglasses at the end in Cuba
Mhm.
there or whatever. I really like
Yeah.
because I don't like a lot of the choices they made for sunglasses for Bond over the years. Like I know Sean
Mhm.
Connery is kind of famous for these sort of I guess I don't know what style you call them, but they're relatively square and they kind of flare out. It's very 60s. It's like something
Yes.
that Robert F. Kennedy would wear, Robert Kennedy Jr.
Mhm.
Wait, um, I'm blanking
Nope,
on the
John F. Kennedy.
yes, thank you. not not today. Not the today one.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but it's that sort of style, but not my thing. And then Craig has some different ones. He's got one in Casino Royale. Again, pair of souls I don't really like. They're
Yeah.
kind of rectangular.
Well, and he's got some
Um,
aviators at one point too.
in Quantum of Solace, he has some unique aviators that has like a
Yes.
single bridge or something. It's a little different.
Yeah.
Um, I don't really remember Roger Moore wearing many. There's something, but none of them stand out.
No. Although
So
I mean, I still haven't seen all of Moore's work, so I can't be
wait,
the
you haven't
the
seen all
definitive judge on that.
You haven't seen all Roger Moore's James Bond films?
No.
Which ones haven't you seen?
Oh, let me look,
Andrea.
let me look, let me
Oh
look.
my gosh. This
I
is
told you I have a
mission
really hard time
critical.
with Roger Moore. Well, I've seen Octopussy Now. I know I hadn't seen that one.
Yeah. Okay. Andrea. Oh my god.
I know. I
I hope
told
it's
you
some good ones.
I
I
have a
hope it's some
really
good
hard
ones.
time with Roger Moore.
Because I've been saving some good ones to really watch
Mm,
wholeheartedly
mm,
again. I
mm,
usually
mm,
put on the
mm.
sort of mediocre ones in the background and kind of rewatch those over and over. Have you seen The Spy Who Loved Me?
Yes.
Okay.
I think
Um,
I think I haven't seen Moonraker.
oh, well, okay.
I'm pretty
That's not a
sure.
okay. Alan shared a picture with his glasses from View to a Kill. Yes, I have. I do remember those. Okay, yeah, A
Oh,
View
yeah.
to a Kill, his last one. Have you watched that one?
Yes.
I thought maybe we watched it on here actually. Um,
We've talked about it for sure, because I
yeah.
think you were talking about it when we were talking about some of the books.
Okay. Well, and we watched, we talked on here about uh shoot. I've had too much wine, Andrea. It's but Live and Let Die. We've talked about that one. This is the first
Yep,
one.
of
So,
course.
um to me, the good Roger Moore ones, the really standouts are For Your Eyes Only
Mhm.
and The Spy Who Loved Me. Those are
Yep.
peak. But then I also like now The Man with the Golden Gun just for fun. It's just fun.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. I always remember that
and
because of Christopher Lee.
yeah, yep. And then I like A View to a Kill actually for fun. So
Yeah.
The Die's gone down my list a little bit. And then there's Moonraker, which is not good in my opinion. And
Can't wait to watch it then.
yeah, um, you know, let's see. Octopussy, yep, not good in my opinion. Um, what else am I blanking on here?
I think you For Your
Some
Eyes
James Bond
Only.
fan I am. Um,
No.
there's got to
Man
be
with the
one
Golden
more.
Gun, Moonraker, Spy Who Loved Me, For Your Eyes Only, Octopussy, A View to a Kill, Live and Let Die.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure that's all of them.
so yeah, I For Your Eyes Only and Spy Who Loved Me. Those are the best, I think.
Mhm.
I've been meaning to rewatch The Spy Who Loved Me, but
Yeah, I would
anyways, we
rewatch that.
should.
It's been a while. It's been a while for me for most Roger Moore films, sans Octopussy, which we watched, and I wish I didn't.
Hmm. Ah, yeah.
I mean, I don't, because it was enjoyable in its own weird way. It just wasn't
Hmm.
a good film.
Yep. Yep. Okay. Well,
But back to a good film. Back to a good film.
yeah. Yep. Goldeneye, I still think it really holds up. It's towards the top of my list of Bond films
Mhm.
yet. I really, really enjoy it. Makes me want to go and watch, you know, even though I watched them kind of recently, some of the Brosnan ones again. I would like to talk to you about how they all rank. I know we've discussed some of that before, but
Oh, you mean the Brosnan
the
ones?
Brosnan films, yeah,
Yes.
you know, um, because I do think it's not as simple as I used to think it is. Um,
I agree. I think, you know, Die Another Day always just has to be at the bottom, and
yes,
then
it has to be.
and
It
then
is.
and then you can kind of, like, go on your own, choose your own adventure for ranking the others. Um, I haven't seen The World Is Not Enough in quite a while. It's still pretty memorable though, that
Hmm.
I think I could rank, some of them. But yeah, I think
Okay.
I think honestly I would have the most trouble with Goldeneye and Tomorrow Never Dies.
Is we to end it
Yeah.
to not go longer, because I absolutely have tons of. Should do that sometime. Brosnan, just talk about the Brosnan films, whatever. So,
I would be down.
anyways, that's Goldeneye, 30-year anniversary. Man, how time flies. Let us know if you're watching it for the anniversary. It was just the other day. If you
Mhm.
saw it when it came out, or whatever your history is with it, and if the film holds up, or if it's changed in your ranking, in its placement in the Bond um, epic, uh, hasn't really for me. So. anyways, make sure you like, share, subscribe in all the applicable places. We're on podcast directories, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that sort of thing. So if you like that, follow us there. Killing the Flower, they wrote our theme song, so you can check them out on music streaming services like Spotify and Apple Music and YouTube. Check out a friend, Mike, Trackmouse
Whoop.
34. Um, some sad news for him. I guess the organization he races with, Grid Life, is really moving a lot of stuff away from the Midwest. So
Oh,
everything but
no.
like one thing is going far away. And so he's really bummed about that, to my understanding, because he's
Yeah.
put a lot of time in being with this organization and
Yeah.
racing with their he knows the people and all the stuff. And now, like, it's gonna go a long ways if he wants to try to make multiple of these races in a year. And I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. I have no insight on anything there, but
Mhm.
I
I'm
feel
sorry,
sorry for
Mike.
him. So yeah, but that's that, and that'll do it from us.
Mhm.
I should not. I would say open a bottle of wine and have it next to me when we do these shows. I would say that. So lesson learned. But anyways, Andrea, thanks for joining me as always, and we'll see you next time.
Sounds good. Cheers, everybody.